Hello everyone. Today we are going to see like how the constructor injection works. How the constructor injection works. So in the last class we discuss in the last session we discussed about the setter injection, and we try to understand how the setter injection works and what how the after reading the bin definition for the setter injection, how internally the Spring container is creating the object for us. And today, even I am going to show you if suppose the data member name will not match with the property name, then what error we can get. So suppose this is the bike class. Okay, this is the bike class, and here we have the data member name as model and price. Let me do some mistake here. I'm going to write the data member name here as a model 2. Or suppose the price, for the price, I'm going to write the price 2. Now try to run this example, you will get the error. Now if you run this example, you will get the error. So you can see here we are getting the error, and what is the error? Invalid property. Invalid property price 2 of the bin class. Which bin class? So you can see I told you every class will be treated in the Spring as a bin class. They are saying invalid property price 2 for the bin class bike. It means that you have mentioned here the property name as a price 2, and this property name is not matching with your data member name, and because of that you are getting the error. Now, okay, let's suppose I fix this. I'm going to give the same name, whatever the data member name I have here. But now what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment this set price method. Suppose I don't have the setter method for this price. And now let me run this example. If you run this example, again you will get the exception. So if you are getting the invalid property, make sure you are doing any mistake either with in the XML file or inside your bin class. I mean to say somehow the property is not getting matched in case of property type with the data member name. So there's a mismatch between your property name and the data member name of your class. Oh, I do not want to run the coverage. Let me run again. So run Java application. Okay. So let me run this. See, again, I'm getting the error saying that this price invalid property. Now, even the price is getting matched now. Even this price is getting matched. Okay. Value is getting matched, but still I'm getting the error saying that invalid property for this. And now if you read this line, they are saying not writable property exception. So somehow they are not able to write the value. And because of that, they are saying invalid property. So in both cases, we are getting the invalid property, but here and there, they are saying this price is not writable or is has an invalid setter method. So they are saying you have the invalid setter method, or somehow you does the parameter type of setter match the 10 type of setter. Somehow we are getting the exception because I don't have the setter. So make sure if you want to inject the injection based on the setter, if you want to inject any of the data member based on the setter injection, make sure you have the your property name must be matched with the data member name, and you must have the setter method in your class. Otherwise, you will get the exception. Now, and the meaning of that bin definition is nothing but this. They are internally creating the object like this. Now coming to this bin. So after completing this bin definition, somehow the container will come and try to read the second bin definition. So here again, I have one ID and B2. And if I have the ID as a B2, now we are giving the class name. So class name is here bus. Now Spring will say, hey, let me check, do you have this bin in this package or not? So they will come here and they will see, we have this class, we have this bin or not? Yes, I have this bin. Now they will ask, okay, how do you want to inject the dependency? How do you want to inject that this two data member, which is available in or which is present inside the bus bin. So this bus bin is dependent on the two data member. One is the bus model and other is the bus mileage. And I want to inject this two based on the constructor injection. Since you want to inject based on the constructor injection, somehow here I'm going to use the constructor argument tag. So if you want to inject based on the constructor injection, for that now I will use the constructor argument tag, constructor arg tag, not the property tag. So if you want to inject based on the constructor injection, make sure you have the constructor argument tag, arg tag, and in your class you must have the constructor for that data member. So here these two data member both I want to inject based on the constructor injection, and because due to that reason, I'm creating one constructor based on the like with this two data member. And here you can see for every data member, I'm writing one constructor arg tag. So this is the constructor arg tag and the value which I want to pass. So I'm passing the one value. Somehow for the bus model, I'm passing the value as a Volvo, and for the second parameter bus mileage, I'm passing the value as a 50. Now, while reading this bin definition, what Spring container is doing internally? So somehow the Spring container is trying to create the object for bus B is equal to new bus with this two parameterized constructor. So now if I run this program, if I run this program somehow, you can see this two value will get initialized, bus model and bus mileage will get initialized with the value which I am passing from here. So the value which I am passing from here, that is nothing but the Volvo. So from here I am passing the value as a Volvo. So you can copy this value, and somehow internally the Spring container is trying to create the object with this two value. Okay, so internally they will create the object based on this parameterized constructor, and somehow I'm passing this value. So here the meaning of this line, the meaning of this bin definition is nothing but we have internally they are creating the object with the two parameterized constructor, and somehow the value which I'm passing from Volvo, it will come inside the bus model, and the value which I'm passing for the second parameter, that will come here, and it will get assigned inside this bus model and inside the bus mileage, and somehow this message will get print. This message will get print. So the meaning of this construct, this bin definition is nothing but they are trying to create the object while passing this two value. I'm going to comment for you here, and let me run this example. Now, once I run this program, you can notice this message will also print. This message will also print. So let me run this example. So first they will read the bin definition of the bike. So first they are reading the bin definition of bike, and they are creating the object for the bike. And then the second they are creating the object for the bus, and somehow they are creating the based on after reading this bin definition, somehow they are creating the object for bus as well. So you can see here, somehow it is printing the bus constructor as well. Okay, any doubt? If no doubt, then we have to come to the next. We have to write the bin definition for the next bin, and the bin name is nothing but the traveler. So we can, let me open the traveler here itself. So what is the inside the traveler? Let me show you. So here you can see again this is the traveler class, and this traveler bin is dependent on the two bin. This traveler bin is dependent on the two bin. The name of the bin is nothing but bus and bike bin. So somehow this bin is dependent on the two bin. One is the bus bin and other is the bike bin. Now I want to create the object for this. I want to create the bin definition for this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write the bin tag. I'm writing the ID, and then I'm writing the class name. Up to here, I think there will be no doubt. This is similar to the first two. Okay. Now here you can see this is the here one data member I want to inject based on the constructor injection, and other bin dependency I want to inject based on the set injection. So for the constructor argument, for the constructor injection, I know that we have to use the tag that is nothing but constructor argument. Now here we no need to pass the value. This is not the primitive data type. This is not the primitive data type variable. This is the reference data type. So somehow I have to pass the reference for this bus. So here inside this container, somehow inside this XML file, you can see that we have the reference for the bus, and the reference is nothing but we are pointing this bus reference bus. Here the B2 is holding the object for the bus, or this B2 is pointing to this B2, not the B. This B2 is holding the reference variable. This B2 is the reference variable for the bus, or we can say this B2 is holding the object for the bus. So somehow I have to pass the reference variable for the bus, and to pass the reference variable of the bus inside this bin, somehow I'm going to pass the B2. If not clear, okay, let me tell me one thing. Suppose I want to suppose here I'm going to get the main class. Okay, if not clear, let me write the main class here itself. And if I'm writing the main class, suppose I want to call this show method, and suppose I want to create the object for this. I want to create the object for this traveler. So if you want to create the object for the traveler, how you can do in the core Java? So if you want to create the object for the traveler, what we can do, we can write here traveler and t is equal to new traveler. We have to write it like this. Now, if I want to create the object for the traveler, somehow I have to pass the reference of the bus object. Why I'm saying I have to pass the reference of the bus object? Because they are holding, since this is not, we don't have the default constructor or non-parameterized constructor. I have the parameterized constructor. And to create the object based on this constructor, somehow I have to pass the reference of this bus. So here, can you tell me, do you have any reference of the bus? No, you don't have. So first you have to create the reference of the bus. So what you are going to do? You are going to write like bus B2. Bus B2 is equal to new bus. And while creating the bus, somehow you are going to pass this value. So suppose what I have did here, the same value I am going to copy from here. Okay. And somehow I am going to pass this B2 here. So you can see the difference of the bus I'm passing here. Same as I'm going to do here. Now, this is not the ordinary data member. This is not the primitive data member. This is the reference data member. And to pass the reference data member, instead of value, I have one attribute. The attribute is nothing but reference. And what value I'll pass? So B2. What value I'll pass? The B2. Now we have, so for bus, somehow I am clear. Now I have to inject the bike as well. So bike reference variable, I want this dependency, I want to inject based on the setter injection. So to inject based on the setter injection, we have to go with the property tag. I have to write the property tag. Now here we have to give the name. They are asking to give the name. So again, tell me, suppose I want to call here, I want to call this set bike method. If you want to call this set bike method, how we can call this? So suppose if I want to call this set bike method, okay, somehow t dot set bike, if I'll call, now I have to pass the reference for the bike as well. So somehow I have to create the object for the bike as well. Bike, so for bike B, okay, so somehow we are going to copy this line. I'm going to copy this line and then I'm saying reference. So what is the reference here? So the reference is nothing but B. So I'm going to pass the B here. So here, what is the property name I have? The property name for the setter injection, that is a bike. So I'm going, okay, bike. I have the setter method and the value. So instead of value, again, I'm going to use the reference tag. So reference tag, and which reference value I have to pass it? So I have to pass the reference for the bike. So how I am passing the reference for bike here? Same as I have the reference for the bike here. Or I can say somehow I have the bin definition for the bike here. So this is the reference variable for the bike. I'm going to pass this one here. I'm going to pass the reference variable here, P. And I'm going to remove this line. This is not required. You can just comment for your understanding. Now somehow if I run this program, somehow here you can see we are going to inject one variable based on the constructor argument and other based on the property tag. So somehow this massive will also print now, and this massive will also print. So first this massive will print traveler class constructor, and then this set by traveler class method will also print. Let me run this example and let me show you. So just let me save this. Let me save this and let me run this example. Let me run this example. So see, now each and everything is printing. So somehow internally what is happening, all the bins is getting registered with the Spring container now. All the bins has get loaded inside the container, and somehow I can say it has been registered with the container. Now in the next class, we'll see how I can call this show method based on the difference of the traveler T1. What is the meaning of the get bin? What is the how we can get the object for any of the class which is running in the inside the container, and all those kind of the things we'll see in the next session.